is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
The Bristol Flyers final event and the live podcast.
How are you doing? My name is Joel Osborne. I'm very pleased to be joined, as always, by the partner in crime, Sam Hardy.
Hello, how are we all doing tonight? Everyone okay? Yeah.
Sam, can you believe it? We made it to the live audience episode.
Flipping heck. Has everyone enjoyed the season this year? Have we enjoyed seeing all those dubs on the score sheet? Yes, we have.
Our most successful ever season as a Bristol Flyers since joining the BBL. A number of records broken, Sam. Incredible season as a whole. Highest ever finish of third. Most single season wins. Highest ever win percentage. The earliest we've ever secured our place in the playoffs. The records just keep coming this year. It's been amazing.
I've loved every single second. I'm sure all of you have too. But we couldn't have done it without your support. So please give a cheer for each and every one of you tonight. Yes!
Well, Sam, to top it all off, we didn't include the most, the best news of the season so far.
What's that,
bro? A couple
bro?
of pieces of news, actually.
Go on.
The first one, we got planning permission sorted for the sporting quarter down at Ashton Gate.
Yes!
And the second piece of news, Flyers, they'll be entering European competition next year in the EMBL.
Who here's going to make an away trip this year? Yeah!
There we go. Well, before we introduce the players to the stage, because it's been an incredible season for them, we're going to start the show here by bringing them up onto stage. We're going to chat to a few of the players, and then later on in the show, we're going to open up the questions to you guys. So do think of questions you want to ask to the players, whatever you want. No questions off limits. Anything you want, Sam.
Sorry, mate, I was a million miles away there. Are we introducing the players up or not?
Yes, Sam. So without further ado, I think it's time to hand you over to our Master of Ceremonies from the SGS College Arena, Sam Hardy. Time to introduce the Flyers.
All right, guys, I want for the last time this year all to cheer and go wild for our players. You going to get on your feet, Kev? He's getting on his feet. Go on, everyone on your feet. Why not? Let's hear it for number 0, Jelani Watson-Gayles. Number 1, Brandon Mahan. Number 2, Tevin Olson. Number 4, Corey Samuels. Number 13, TB3. Number 17, VJ King. Number 21, Leslie Smith. Number 22, Malcolm Delpesh. Number 23, our captain, Mike Miller. And number 40, Pasquale Landolfi. With our head coach, Andreas Kapoulas, and assistant coach, Nick Burns.
We do have seats for both you and Coach Burns as well, so you guys can sit down over there. If we can get the mic over to Coach K to start the evening, Coach. We mentioned just how great a season it was. We listed some of the records there, but just your first thoughts on the season as a whole, how successful it was, and what a pleasure it was coaching this team this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. We did our talking on the court, right? So it's as simple as that this year. It has been a fun year. We broke a lot of records. It has been historic in our regard. Not a lot of people were counting on us this season. We started low expectations, but we had a great group of guys, obviously guys returning from last year, and Mike, Malcolm, Corey, and Pasquale. And then we knew we had guys that were really hungry and driven. So for us, it was process as usual, business as usual. And the rest is history, really. And we got it. I mean, watching the game yesterday was difficult. We got it because we were so close. and we wanted to be in the final. All of us wanted to be playing. I mean, we talked about that. We didn't want the season to finish the way it did, but we're also very proud of what we achieved. We beat teams like London twice, Leicester 3 times. We finished on the same record with Leicester with our start of the year. No one would really even think about it, us being on 25 wins. And we took Leicester literally to the last possession. And I mean, I was looking at the Leicester owner while I was coaching on the left side there, and he was having a tough time on that second leg, Like the tie was getting unloosened, like the shirt, like it was getting tough there. But extremely proud of our guys. Obviously, we have a very talented group of guys. There's a real family feel to it, the togetherness, the toughness, and they're winners, and that's why we did so well this year, really. It's that mindset, and it has been fun being around. We've had a meeting already, so we've talked about it, and we went around the room and everyone's spoken, but it's a special group, and we took it to another level. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, guys, here's a round of applause. And I think like a huge part of like the narrative around the season, obviously at the start of the year, that those pre-season picks came out, and the Sky Sports pundits, they had Bristol Flyers in dead last, and then obviously the pre-season game against Plymouth City Patriots, where you come out on top by 40 points in pre-season, and then the confidence really started to grow in this team. And just from your point of view, how much did you guys have that playing in the back of your minds, like a chip on your shoulder mentality in the early parts of the season?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on day one, about the underdog mentality. That's very important. Amy made sure to remind Drew Lasker of his predictions throughout the whole season, so really appreciate all that. That has always been, as Bristol, we're always the underdog in the BBL. No one is counting on us. It has been like that every season. And this year we took it to that next level. But last year was the same. No one was expecting us to do as we did, but it goes back to what I was saying. I mean, the mindset of the group and that chip on their shoulder, and we want to prove every wrong. I mean, Mike has said it, that the players had it on the WhatsApp group, the predictions. Those things fuel you at the start of the season. But to do what we've done in a very difficult league, and we're a young team, with the youngest team in the league, average age of 25, is not just about proving people wrong. And because, those type of predictions and that kind of motivation you get from it only lasts like maybe a month or two. To be able to show that consistency that we've shown and that resilience throughout the course of the season, forget about predictions and things like that. That speaks about the winning mentality and the mindset that our guys have. And every single person here has that. And I also need to mention our staff. The coaches, Nick and Chris. I don't know if Chris is here yet, or I've seen Kate somewhere. He's coaching. Thank you, Kate. But also our performance team, Craig, Rich, they've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and Karis as well, who joined us this year. They've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to get us ready and be at our best. And so it has been a real team effort. Players, staff, all just wanted to make Bristol proud.
I remember this time last year, we were all right here actually at the Village Hotel. We did this exact same sort of thing last season, and we were celebrating our highest ever league finish of 4th. And we were all wondering, how could we go one step better? What would it take to bring that team back? And now here we are a year later. We've broke those records with 3rd place finish in the league. In terms of what's next for the program going forward, just how high can the Flyers aim going forward now, looking ahead into the next sort of few years down the line? Yeah,
I mean, we're on a journey. It's been 18 years in the making, and we're doing things the right way. And we've done that in the 9 years in the lower national leagues. We've done that for the 9 years in the BBL. It's a process. It's about bringing in the right people. And we have amazing people here right now on the stage, and we want to have that kind of drive where we keep on getting better. Playing next year in Europe, it's got to be unbelievable. And we're not settled here. We want to bring a BBL championship a NBL championship to Bristol. I think that's our goal. That's kind of our mission, and we understand things don't happen overnight. And you see, I mean, in the 9 years we've been in the BBL, you've seen some franchise come in and come out very quickly, and we're still there. And that's down to the players, that's down to our fans, to our sponsors, everyone behind the scenes, the volunteers, and we are a program. You mentioned the word program. Some clubs, and not just in the BBL, some clubs in England, in the UK are just, teams, and we're a program, and there's a difference there. And you see it with the girls, the women's team, you see it with the boys, the different age groups, and Chris is doing a tremendous job now leading the academy and the youth program. And you see like guys, like last year Josh was the captain, Josh Rogers, and he's come through our program. And Josh obviously has retired now and he's not playing with us. And now you see Corey Samuels, and he's picking it up. And in the past it was Greg Street. Pasquale has played for the junior program as well. And I think for us, that's kind of something which I think is special. I don't think you can find a lot of clubs in the BBL or across the UK that do what we do. And we want to continue to do this. And certainly this team, I mean, I told the guys the impact that this team has made to Bristol is you can see it with the number of people that have turned up here today, but some of it will be, our players here will not see, because some of it will be in 10 years' time when someone else is going to wear the Flyers jersey. Oh, I was told off because I said...
Where is he? Elliot Wade.
Yeah, go
coach for calling it a vest.
So the Flyers cert. So I think that's going to be the exciting thing as well for us. So certainly it's about what we're doing on the court, but what we're doing off the court, and where we want to be in the future, and how we do things is very important.
I just want to cast your mind back to this time last year again. Like you talk about the season just ending. 4 players recruited from last year's squad, and when you sit down with Nick at the start of the season, what kind of things are you looking for when you're putting that squad together?
Let's bring as many North Texas guys as possible. I'm joking. No, I think for us is it's always difficult, right? Because there's a lot of factors when you're putting a team together, and certainly you're coming from a successful season, finishing 4th, the best year in the BBL, and you're going to have that kind of situation. Can you get better the following year? And that's difficult. In this league, it's difficult, especially with a new team, and that's why the reality is we give a lot of stick to Drew Lasker and all those guys that predict us. But when you're coming with a young team and you have so many experienced teams, the like of Leicester, you can kind of a little bit rationalize it if you want. Obviously, we never believed it. But I think for us it was Nick and I just looking the important ingredients. Having Mike as the captain this season was huge, and having Malcolm returning, those 2 guys made huge plays throughout the course of the year last year. And you cannot forget that playoff quarterfinal. Mike with the shot, the big shot, that little fadeaway, which I didn't expect him to take the fadeaway, but he knocked it down. And then Malcolm with the block at the end. Those 2 plays, kind of really highlights those guys in a nutshell, what they're about. And then, Corey and Pasquale were very important. And Corey, like this year, his role was different. He had more court time. You could tell he was getting more and more confident. He's got to keep on growing in this. And Pasquale, Pasquale is a warrior. He comes, we need to talk about the 4 players first. He comes to every practice. He doesn't play a lot, almost no minutes at all. But, he's so kind of motivated, driven, and he wants to help the club succeed. And I think when you have guys like those 4 guys as your ingredient to start a team, good things are going to happen. And then, we can go around the room here right now, and you might as well start. And then you bring Thomas Bell from North Texas. So you bring in Thomas Bell, then you bring in VJ King. So VJ King, who have been really, he should have been Player of the Year, not in the journalists. I mean, he should have been Player of the Year in the BBL. I mean, Decker played 21 games. VJ played 32 games. He played more or less the whole season, basically. All right. So really, VJ should have been Player of the Year. He got the journalist one, and he was in Team of the Year. TB has been such an important part of our team, doing so many things, defense, offense, and contributing in so many factors, and really showing. I still remember that dunk. I mean, Jesus, that dunk on the quarterfinal. I mean, it's imprinted in my head with the sea of pink at the back. But then you have Tevin Olson, and you bring Brandon Mayhem. And those guys, can shoot the heck out of it, but they can do so many other things as well. They're team orientated, and they can create. They can create their own shot as well, and they have winning mentality. And then you add to this a young British player that went under the radar, who was killing it in Division 2 in the States, and no one really seems to be paying attention to that. And Jelani comes in and he's in the British Team of the Year for a reason. He gets selected to play his first games with the national team, which is such a huge honor. He gets the British Player of the Year as well, award from the journalists. So, it just speaks a lot. And then the last guy is, I'm going to make sure I don't miss anyone. So Leslie Smith, who, like a lot of people, don't worry, I didn't forget you, Leslie, I was coming to you. So, a lot of people think with Leslie, he's been to the club 2 years. We've had, one of our most successful seasons in the BBL when he was here with us, and he hasn't played for a couple of years, and probably people are looking at this and going this is a bit of a risk. And he comes in and he's the perfect fit for what we're looking. He comes off the bench. Sometimes he will play very limited minutes. Sometimes he will play big minutes, and he brings experience. He brings character to it, and he really helps a group of players that everyone else is below the age of 27, 28, and he brings the average a little bit higher. But so
still as sexy as 2017, though, am I right?
He has a few more years in him as well. So, but no, I went around the room just because what I'm trying to say here is it wasn't a coincidence. We spent a lot of time in terms of the recruitment process. Nick, I go through the first process, and then I send them over to Nick, and I text him all the time. I bother him all the time. Have a look at this guy. Have a look. We spend a lot of time on this. So it doesn't just happen by accident. And it's not just about the players, it's about the people. They're all great characters, and they're really good people, and there is a buy-in. And when you have that, sky's the limit, and we are where we are as a result of it.
Absolutely. Well, let's go around the room a little bit. Coach, I want you to pass the mic down to Mike Miller, if you can. And Sam...
We're gonna spend a bit of time just asking these guys a few questions. We will open up to questions from you guys at the very end, but right now we're just gonna hear a bit about the season. Mike, first year.
Why you gotta pick me first?
Say it again.
Why you gotta pick me first?
Because you're the captain.
I take that. Go ahead.
First year as captain, actually. What does it mean for you to be the leader of this team, both on and off the court?
It was big time, just because I'm a reflection of the entire team, on and off the court, the whole program. Whether we win or lose, success or failure, it all falls on me and coach. So
Yeah, and it was like a very young team this year as well. Like, how did you because the chemistry in the team really started to gel early on in the season, I felt. Like, how did you rally the team together early on in the season?
That dog ain't got no age, you know what I'm saying? We got some dogs over here, so, there's, yeah.
The dogs have no age, apparently.
Yeah, no age or yeah. Said it right.
Obviously, Coach mentioned those preseason picks that came out at the start of the season. Was that you that set that picture up in the WhatsApp group? And what were the conversations being said around the team in that group after those picks came out?
Yeah, I mean, it was all pretty much mutual. We had a conversation about it as soon as they came out, and then it was kind of like mutual within the group chat, like this is gonna be our motivator right here. So immediately just put it as the background photo of the group, and then we used that as our edge going into every game until we were to hunt it in the season.
And just a quick word on how the season came to an end. Of course, not the way you guys would have wanted in that second leg. You came back from 26 down, and you led by 5 with 3 minutes to go on aggregate. But in terms of the travelling support that came to that game as well in Leicester, I mean, I don't know about you, Sam, or anything like that, but probably the best travelling support I've seen in my 9 years with the team for a Bristol Flyers away game. It was incredible, wasn't it, Mike?
Oh yeah, it's a reflection of all the hard work that we put in, and the show that we gave the fans night in and night out. When you have guys that are willing and dedicated and committed to a common goal, the fan base is going to follow. And I think, even being in there was a point in time where we heard Flyers the entire time as if we were home. So we couldn't have done it without you guys, big time for sure.
Mike, final thing from you, mate. I don't know if you know this, but last week on the podcast, we held our Supporters Club end of season awards, and the fans voted your British accent on episode 21 as their podcast moment of the season. Can we get another little preview of the English accent right here, right now in the season finale, please?
You want me to say the same thing?
Yeah, let's do it.
You got to run it back. I forgot what I even said.
So I think it was something like, "Hello, my name's Mike Miller. I'm a point guard for the Bristol Flyers."
Hello, my name's Mike Miller. I'm a point guard for the...
Oh, piss off, mate. Let's hear it for Mike Miller.
Who next?
Now, Mike, if I can get you to pass the mic down over to VJ King there on the far side.
The king himself.
Long live.
Now, VJ, this has been your first season in the UK. You've played with so many great teams in the past. You've played with future NBA All-Stars. But in terms of this group of players, where does this group of players rank in teams that you've been amongst during your professional career?
Nah, apart from the basketball stuff, this is probably... I'm getting to it. No, it's probably one of the best group of guys that I've ever been around. Like Mike said, we just gel from the start, and that's not very common in the professional game. Period. This felt like almost like a college team, as I was telling Sam earlier. So we spent so much time together off the court, and I think it really translated to the floor. And people doubted us from the season. As a newcomer, I didn't really know a lot about the league, but I can tell how much it meant to these guys. And we worked so hard every day, and it was just fun to be around them. When things was up and down. Like I say, this is probably one of the best, if not the best, professional team that I've been on, where we just look forward to see each other the next day, no matter how the games and stuff went. So
Now, Vijay, obviously you came in with your extensive background. It's like in terms of like the career path that you've had, probably the most high-profile career path that we've had in terms of any player coming into the program in Flyers history. Almost. How much pressure did you feel on your shoulders coming into the season to perform? Like, what were your expectations of the BBL, and how much did it like live up to those expectations?
I didn't feel any pressure, to be honest. I wanted to just come in and just get better every day. I think that was just the main mindset. Wasn't really listening to all the stuff that was going on around me, what people were saying. I had all those things coming with me comes with the name, but I just wanted to come in and get better and be a part of something, be a part of a winning team. A lot of the professional teams I've been on, this is my third one, and this is the most successful one I've been on. So I was just, like I said, I just wanted to come in and work and just do what I know how to do and just have fun with it. It wasn't really any pressure though.
And obviously, Coach mentioned, you named them BBL Team of the Year. It's the first time we've ever had a Bristol Flyers player named in Team of the Year. Also named Player of the Year amongst the Basketball Journalists Association. What does that mean for you personally to be recognised amongst the journalists, but also amongst other coaches and players around the league to be voted in Team of the Year?
It's good to know I get the respect around the league, especially being a newcomer and nobody knowing who I was before I got here. I was happy to be a part of the city here in Bristol. You guys came in and supported me and took me as one of your own, as a player that didn't know that Bristol was a city at all. And you guys took me in as if I was from here. So that's, I think more than anything, I just really appreciate that more than all the accolades that came with this season.
We loved having you in Bristol, VJ. One of the main things I've loved about you being here is all the cool tracksuits you wear. He's rocking some Donald Duck ones right now. I like that a lot. But guys, let's hear it one more time for VJ King!
You pass the mic down to Mr. Watson-Gayles down here. Jelani, first year as a pro, Coach spoke about you coming out of the NCAA Div 2. How do you reflect on that first year?
I think I had good spurts. Could have been a bit more consistent, but it was just fun to learn, be around these guys, and just learn and just get better every day, really.
Yeah, and obviously your performances on the stage, you quickly built a name for yourself in the BBL. A lot of people didn't know what to expect with you coming into the league, earning that first GB call-up as well. Like, how much does that mean to you to represent? Because obviously you played for GB under 20s. How does it? What does it mean to then go on and play for the senior national team?
No, it was an honour. That was actually a goal of mine before the season. Like when I was in America, people would always ask me, "Oh, when are you going to play for the men's team? When are you going to play for the men's team?" And I would always say, like, it'll probably take me like a few years. So like to get that recognition in my first year was good. It's a good honour.
Now Sam and I the other day had a little tap on the shoulder after a game, and it was your mum. She was watching the game, and she said she's a big fan of the Bristol Flyers podcast, and she's actually here tonight, isn't she?
Yeah, she came up here with me.
Let's see if we can get a mic down to Jelani's mum over there. See if we can speak to her.
Putting my mum on the spotlight.
But whilst the mic goes over to your mum, just in terms of, obviously you played overseas for the last 7 years. What does it mean for you in terms of being able to play in front of your family again and then being able to watch you in person rather than watching the telly?
To be fair, like especially my last year, so California was about 8 hours behind. So they couldn't even really watch my games live unless they was watching like 4 o'clock in the morning. But honestly, it kind of just like warmed my heart to have my parents, my family, just be so excited
that they could get to watch me play. When we went to London, I had a lot of family and friends there that haven't seen me play since I was like 16. So really, it was really enjoyable to play in front of them.
Great stuff. Right, where is she?
Here I am.
How proud have you been of Jelani this season, Mum?
I don't have any words. I'm just so proud of him. So proud of him. He's done so well.
And to be able to actually watch him play in person, what does that mean to you rather than having to, watch it through the telly at stupid o'clock in the morning?
Well, I came to Bristol and I donned my pink T-shirt. And I had a horn. And my sisters said in London, that's all we could hear. Right? And even Jelani said, Mum, was that your horn I could hear? And I was like, yes, because that's what I've always did before he went to America. We travelled all over. We had dustbins, we had dustbin lids, we had forks and plates. So we just went with all our instruments. So the horn was nothing compared to what we used to do. But the fact that we could even just come and see it live, I mean, I came to one game and then I said, oh, I'm coming again at the weekend. And Jelani was like, you're coming again? Yeah, I'm coming again. And, I've been down quite a few times and it's just been so electric. And I just want to thank Bristol for, letting Jelani be part of your family. And it was really, really good. Thank you.
Great stuff. Everyone, give it up for Jelani Watson-Gayles. Now, if we could get you to hand the mic over to Malcolm Delpesh for us real quick. Malcolm, obviously, second full season with the Flyers. You had that brief spell with us in 2018 as well, alongside your brother. But how have you found this season as a whole? Because every year the club just seems to keep moving forwards step by step.
Yeah, I think Coach Kapoulas alluded to it. Like, it's always kind of interesting. We had like a new team. Like when I first came into last season, like it was realistically, it was just like Corey Samuels, Pasquale, and Josh Rogers, who were kind of like the backbone. And then obviously we came along, we had a successful season, and then a lot of guys left, and then it's just me and Mike returning, and we have Corey and Pasquale, obviously. And so it's kind of, when the season begins, it's kind of hard to like anticipate what it's going to look like. Obviously, we believe in ourselves, and obviously the Drew Lascos, and they came with their predictions and stuff like that. And so, one thing me and Mike talked about this like more on plenty of times throughout the season. Like, obviously, we had success last season, and but there was this sort of feeling like we just didn't play up to snuff. And so this season, obviously, we would have loved to play yesterday, but I wouldn't. If we were going to lose that way, I'm happy with that, because I feel like everybody left it all on the court. Win or lose, I think everyone just showed up to work and got better. And I think VJ mentioned it, like it was just fun, like regardless of like a win or loss, like we just had fun together. I think everyone was bought in, and that's not something I probably would have been able to say last season. And so this season, everybody was bought in and came to work and had fun. So
yeah, and if I could pick a moment, like so many moments of that highlights that stand out from the season, but if you were to pick one and put your finger on one moment from the season, what would be your favourite moment from the campaign?
Honestly, I'd probably say even though we lost to Leicester, I'd probably say that last game where that whole game, I just feel like we were just firing at all cylinders. And like, even though we didn't come up with the win, I feel like everybody stepped up and everybody just helped contribute. And like, we did technically win, we just didn't win by enough. But I'd say like that game in general just kind of just exemplified Flyers basketball.
And also, just finally, last week we had our Supporters Club Awards. They named you the Flyers Supporters Club Defensive Player of the Year, the two-time Bristol Flyers Supporters Club Defensive Player of the Year. 54% of the vote you had overall. What does it mean to be recognised like that on the defensive end on the court?
I mean, yeah, I think I take pride in being like the backbone on the defensive end. And so to get the award 2 times, I mean, that's obviously great, and I'm honored. So, yeah, it's good.
Great stuff. Everyone, please give it up for Malcolm Delpesh. We're going to speak to one more before we get to the next part of the show, and that is Tevin Olson. And get hold of the mic right there we go. It's working.
Good.
It's working. We're good. Tevin, your first full season with the Flyers. Just tell us, just give us your thoughts on the season as a whole.
It was fun. I think when we first got here, everybody gelled together really quick, and I think we all got along really well. And yeah, we got a lot off the court, and they led to good chemistry on the court. And I think that everybody had their own personal goals, but everybody wanted the same thing. Everybody wanted to win a championship. Everybody wanted to do something that had never been done before, and I think we did that, and I think we had fun doing it.
And one of the great things about being at Flyers games is the amount of fans that stick around after the games. You know, you sign autographs for them, you have photos with the kids. When I look online, you know, I see comments of parents saying that, you know, you've inspired my kids to take up playing basketball. Like, what does that mean for you to like be an inspiration and help kids start on their journey in playing basketball?
Well, that's just a part of our job. That's just all a part of it. That's what we do this for. At the end of the day, we want to inspire kids to grow up and do the same things that we do. Because we know that they watch everything that we do, so we gotta carry ourselves good in a good way off the court and on the court. We can't be like yelling at each other on the court. We can't be getting in trouble off the court. So like the kids inspire us to play harder, to work harder. Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Everyone, please give it up for Tevin Olson. Right, we will hear from the rest of the players later on in the Q&A segment of the podcast, but before we get to the Q&A segment, Sam, we've got a couple of little bits of housekeeping to do at our end. The first one is I want to get team manager Mike Aikins up here because Mike Aikins...
Let's hear it from Mike!
From Mike Aikins. Now, Mike has been the heartbeat of the team. He's the all-around king of organisation. You name it, Mike will organise it. Any question you want. And Mike, you just want to say a little thank you to some of the volunteers that have done a countless amount of hours for the club to make it where it is today.
Yeah, certainly we wouldn't have game days without them, and a lot of them are here tonight. So I would like all the volunteers, if you like, to come up to the front of the stage. If you want to get a picture with the team, get it framed and get them out to you in the summer. So if we get all the volunteers down the front, because like I say...
Now, I don't know if he's here today, but if Coach Rodney Gale is around from the Bristol Sport Foundation, our next presentation is for him. But he's not here, so we're going to present it without him. But we will still be donating it to him. So we're joined by Sheila, who has been one of our longest running volunteers. I'm going to come a bit further over this way so everyone can see what's going on. Sheila, you've been throughout the whole game day, every game day this season, every home game day, you've been running Chuck a Duck.
Yeah, this year we reinstated Chuck a Duck. It hadn't run for a few years, I believe, post-COVID. So yeah, we've had Chuck a Duck reinstated. Bit of a slow start at the beginning of the season, but I think by the end of it, we were selling out even before the game started. So thanks to everybody here for getting involved and having such fun with it.
Now, Chuck a Duck has been a highlight of game days. You'll see all the ducks flying all over the place at the end of every third quarter as Sam it makes it rain ducks, don't you, every single week, Sam? But all the money that everyone pays to buy their ducks, it goes towards Project Takeoff at the Bristol Sport Foundation, which, if you listen to a podcast earlier on in the season with Coach Rodney Gale, is a project designed to help kids that may not have access to be able to play basketball. They may not have the funding able to play basketball. It helps kids get into playing hoops. And we've got a total amount of money raised here that we were going to present to Coach Rodney, but we'll hold it up and we'll get a photo with Billy over there as well. The total amount of money raised from the Bristol Sport, from the SGS Wise Campus for the Chuck a Duck, £1,491. It's amazing. Amazing, Sheila. Thank you so much. This certainly will go towards helping some kids play some hoops and get more kids out there on the court and into Project Takeoff, which is great.
Joel said he's actually going to donate the final £9 to make it up to 1,500. So appreciate you, Joel. Appreciate you.
Great stuff. Everyone, please give it up for Sheila. Bring a chuck a duck.
All right, before we get into the final section, we're going to do a quick Q&A in a bit. Well, not quick. You guys can ask as many questions as you like to any of the players here, but we are doing a live podcast right now. Now, for those who listen to the podcast, one of our segments on the podcast is where we do Word of the Week. Now, one of the things that we do is we spin the wheel. You guys, some of the players have been chucking words that we put up on the wheel. We spin it, and then Joel has to get that word into our commentary. So if you've been listening, he's got some crazy words in there. I think TB gave him, what did you give him? Indubitably. Not even a word. So, is it a word? I don't believe you. But the issue we've got is the final word of the week. What was the final word of the week?
It was Scat Gang, and it was donated by Corey Samuels over there.
Like that. But Scat team.
Ever since then, I understand they're now a Scat team. So we put it up right at the start of the season. It had been up there all season long, and on the final week of the season, it landed on Scat Gang, which obviously we wrote on the board before. So I had to say it, but I had got completely bogged down with playoffs that I completely forgot when I was on air for the game.
So, so what I've done is I've got the wheel here, and I've put a load of forfeits on it. We're going to spin it one more time, and Joel is going to do a forfeit in front of you right now. What do you reckon? Reckon it's a good idea? Joel, it's under that cover. If you could grab it. I've only put 4 or 5 on there because I couldn't think of that many, but let's have a look.
Here we go.
Who wants to spin the wheel? One of the players? You want to spin it?
Yeah, I reckon.
TV, you want to spin it?
I feel like we're doing
hang on a sec.
A big reveal here for the wheel. Are you ready, Sam?
Here we go. Here's the wheel. Okay, so the forfeits on here are down a fresh water, which is what we've been calling alcohol on the podcast. Do 20 push-ups. I don't believe you can. Switch his shoes for the rest of the day, and sing that horrible Malcolm Delpesh in the post song that he made up on the podcast, which was horrible. So TB, for the final time this year, if you could spin the wheel, and we'll get a forfeit up for Joel.
And Sam's getting the song at the ready, so that is there. TB, right, are you ready, TB? It is time for you to spin the wheel to determine what forfeit we'll be doing on the podcast.
Buy everyone around. Yeah,
maybe not.
TB, what size your shirt?
Go for it, TB. Spin it up, man.
Come on, TB. It is time for you to spin the wheel. Okay, we're going to do a countdown from everyone, yeah? Okay, you ready? In 10. Oh, go on. Here we go. What's it going to land on? What is it going to land on?
Oh. Do 20 push-ups. 20 push-ups.
Here we go.
Joe.
Count them up.
Joe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Joel, we'll start counting when you do a proper one, mate.
Tell you what, I'm knackered after that. Oh, right. Time for us to get some Q&A.
Yeah, let's go for it. So we've got a microphone in the crowd. If anyone's got a question they want to ask any of the players, it's the last time you might get to speak to some of them. So if you've got a question, put your hand up and we'll bring a microphone around to you. Does anyone have a question for the players?
There 100% will be. Here we go. We've got a question right here
in the middle.
front.
Let's go, Ellen.
Can we get a 1v1 between Malcolm and Marcus?
Ooh. Can we get a 1v1 between Malcolm and Marcus?
Yeah, talk to Coach Kapoulas on that one. Touche.
Right, next question. Next question. Who has a question in the crowd? We've got a question right at the back over there. I don't know if you can run the mic over there.
If it was the last second half-court shot, who are you picking to take it?
Who's the question for?
I'm picking Thomas Bell.
I definitely don't want us some low and slow and Nando's this year, so that's a good pick.
That's been the key. I think this year, isn't it, Coach? Every time a player hits a half-court shot in practice, Coach takes the team out for a meal. And, Coach, I think you've taken the team out for a lot of meals this year. Is that right?
TB has been doing really well.
He's hit a lot of half-court
I've been
shots.
earning my keep for sure. Definitely.
Right. Who has the next question? Another question over here.
When's the coronation for VJ King?
That is a great question. The coronation is going to be held here, same time, same venue, next week.
That's an amazing question. Who has another question for players or staff or anyone? It can be a question for anyone up here.
One at the front here.
Question down here at the front.
I've got a mic. I could just give him the mic, couldn't I?
You could just give him the mic.
Make Ellen run.
Let's make it run.
Given we've had some success over the last couple of years, how do you think teams are going to set themselves up against us next season? Are they going to do things differently? That's for the coach.
I think whoever is playing Bristol, they know they have a game. So I think, and it hasn't been just this season. I think everyone knows when they're going to play us that we play hard and we're physical, and I think that's going to be, for next season or the season after. I mean, as I said, we've taken it to another level this year. So we'll think about next season like later on. But I think today is about celebrating what we've achieved. But certainly, I think we've raised the expectations, and we just want to keep on getting better. So I think they can do whatever they want, to be honest. I think it's about us. It's about the group of players, the belief that we have, everyone around us, the fans, the support. We're going to win a BBL championship.
Do we have another question? Oh, at the front here.
Brendan, is for you here, Brendan.
Come on, Brandon.
I feel obviously very proud to be in the Flyers family. You guys have done so incredibly well this year. I could cry my heart out. I think you've done brilliantly. But from the word go, you've looked after fans. My little grandson who's come along, he loves it. You gel as a squad, Brendan. Why? Why do you think? What's the key element in you all getting on so well, playing for each other? What is it? What do you think is the key element?
Oh, snap, bro. Really me, bro.
I chose a good one.
You did. I feel like they care for everybody on our team really care for each other, and I feel like we work hard for each other, so it just worked out so well this season. Everybody want to see themselves individually do good, but also their teammate do well as well. So yeah, making me nervous. For sure.
And Brad, what's been the key for that, do you feel, in terms of getting different characters to gel together? Like, how much fun are you really having off the court? Like, because it really shows on the court, like, just how much fun and how good friends you guys are off the court as well.
Yeah.
How good of friends are you guys, Brandon?
I just playing. But I'm talking, we all bond pretty good with each other. I just feel like off the court we just, showing ourselves and being ourselves. So we just bonding with each other, having a good time, and thinking about the future. Thinking about the championship we're trying to get, and just making jokes with each other and just having a great time. I feel like that's all it's about for real, I guess.
I love it. Brandon Mayhan, everyone. Love it, Brandon. Amazing. I've got a question that's come through here from, we put a thing out on Instagram earlier in the day. I got a question that comes through. This one's from Pasquale, actually. Who is the worst player on the team at Scopa? And that one's come through from Max, where is Max? He's over there somewhere. He's down there in the corner. Send it in through on Instagram. Who's the worst player at Scopa, Pasquale?
So we don't really have individual players. We play as a team. So it's me and Mike versus Brandon and Corey. And I'll be honest, me and Mike, we win every single time. Like the last game, I think we won like 4 or 5 games in a row. Just it was too easy.
Give a background to the team. Give a background about Scopa.
So Scopa is an Italian card game. So basically you play in doubles. So it was me and Mike versus Brandon and Corey. And basically it's the first to 11 points. I'm not going to go into the specifics because it's quite complicated, but basically it's first to 11. And then if you win the 11, then you win 1 championship. And me and Mike, we won like 5 in a row. And we always play like when we play an away game. So yeah.
Yeah, every time I come back down the bus, I always see you guys sat around a table playing Scopa. I have no idea what's going on. Just a bunch of pictures on cards. It's so random.
To answer his question, though, Mr. Corey Samuels is the worst, indeed. Hey, Brandon was trying to be a nice teammate, but he'll vouch too, right?
No.
To set the record straight, the game is played first to 4, and then you get a championship. They got 1 championship on the last bus ride.
How many in total, though?
In total, they might have a couple more than me and Brandon. But it's really cheating because Pasquale been playing this game since he was a little boy. He taught us the other day, but I'm glad he taught it to us. It's a pretty fun game. It makes the bus rides go quick. Like, even when we went to Glasgow, we literally played from Bristol to Glasgow, like the whole way, Scopa, and it felt like a 2-hour journey. So it was a fun game, and I'm glad that Pasquale taught us and, made us better than him at Scopa. So, thank you.
Amazing. We have a question down here in the middle. Down here, this way? Or is there one at the back over there? One at the back first. Do the one at the back first.
Remember what I told you. For the coach, if you were losing by 7 points, who would you sub on to win the game?
If you were losing a game by 7 points, who would you sub on to win the game?
Who's playing? Who are the 5 guys playing? I mean, we have great. That's a tough question. But we have guys that can make plays, and I think that has actually been one of our greatest strengths. You don't know who's the guy that is going to step up from game to game. And I think it's going to the hot hand. So for the particular game, just who has made the most shots. But like all the guys here, like they had great games for us throughout the whole course of the season. And I think that's why we have been so hard to guard. So many weapons out there. And it will have come down to who had the hot hand on the day.
Very, very, very diplomatic answer, Coach. We have another question down here in the middle.
Hi guys, I've got a question, kind of I guess generally for Corey and Pasquale, but it could be for anyone because we've got a lot of the juniors, like academy kids, in tonight. So coming up through the ranks, I guess the question is kind of like, as you go through the kind of highs and lows of training coming up through teenage years, things pulling you away and all that. Have you got any words to to help what would help keep people on focus to get to where you guys have got to?
For me, it's just like always believing in yourself. Like even when people like say stuff about you or don't believe in you, just as long as you believe in yourself, keep working on your game, keep working hard, like opportunities will come, and then just grasp those opportunities. As soon as an opportunity comes, take it. And yeah, you'll never look back. Just keep working hard, keep believing in yourself, and you'll get there. So.
So for me, I think I would just say like, don't focus too much on like the here and now, because you can have a great season as a 15-year-old, but you don't want to like, if you're really aspiring to be like a pro, that season's not going to mean anything like in 10 years. Like I had a year under 16s, my team lost every single game except for the last game, but no one remembers that now. The main thing that I just had in my head was, what am I like building towards? And just having that goal like 2-3 years down the line, just focus on that. Then when you get to that goal, then put another one out ahead of you. And that will just like really motivate you to just keep working every day throughout your juniors. Just focus on what you want to be like as an adult, really. Yeah.
Great stuff. I've got another question over here. Do a couple more questions.
This is for Leslie. What's it like playing basketball this season after not playing for a couple of seasons?
That's a really, really good question. It was tough. It was tough for me because, not playing for 2 years, pretty much not doing anything basketball-wise for 2 years, coming back. It was really hard because, basketball, especially at this level, you need a lot of skill to play, and you got to stay sharp. You got to keep working on your game, and I was not doing any of that. So when I got here, it was just really hard, the pace, just trying to get back on pace. And these guys are good. All these guys are pretty good. A lot of guys got better. Corey got better over the years. Malcolm definitely got a lot better since I last saw him. So there's no knock to Malcolm. I'm just saying, the game evolves, and people get better as they go. So I had a lot of catching up to do. And the 2 years definitely put me back. But as with the minutes I was getting and just being in practice and competing with these guys every day, they pushing me. Going up against Malcolm really helped me a lot too. Just being able to be with these guys every day, the pace and the aggression, just being back in that atmosphere, it was fun. It was hard, but it was fun. And I'm glad, the season ended the way it did. I mean, not in that way, but, we had a really good year, a really successful year, and couldn't ask for a better return, to be honest.
And just a quick follow-up on that, Les. I mean, you came back to Bristol Flyers. What was it that made you, you had the conversations with Coach K, what was it that made you want to come back and play for this club?
It didn't have nothing to do with the sexiest thing, if you think that's what it is. But no, me and Coach, we have a special relationship. Obviously, I was here, back in 2016, 2017, and we did a lot of things, as a club. The relationship, just the people, the fans. I mean, we were selling our crowds back then, and we're still doing it now. So just the atmosphere, being around, talented guys, good coaching staff. Lovely fans, they just, the support, it feels very supportive, and you know what you're going to get when you come here, and it's something you can always look forward to.
Lovely stuff. Do we do one more question? One more question.
A question for the players, and well done to you guys. We're very proud of you. Some of the games, we notice that the coach gets very passionate. And I just wondered if you notice, so as you're playing your game, we can see him on the lines. Do you guys notice?
Well, I get the privilege of starting on the bench, so yes, I do. With him, sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get. Turn around, his face might be red. He might be swearing in Greek. Me and Les might look at each other like, what did he say? Like this. We definitely see it, but it gets us going. And when the head of the snake is like that, is great for us. You know, we feed off it. So yeah, it's great.
And Coach, just to follow up on that one, of course, your clipboard for Manchester at home was. I don't know if many of you spotted it, but Coach's clipboard was the victim of a smashing in the game against Manchester at home. Did you get a new clipboard in the end?
Yeah, I had a new clipboard. I think someone said, were you allowed to have a clipboard after that? Things happen during a game. My wife took it away, so no one took a photo of it or anything after the game. The evidence disappeared. During the game, you get passionate. I mean, it's all love. So
yeah. We'll close questions there, but I kind of just want to leave it with yourself, and I don't know whether Coach Burns wants to say something as well, but maybe just some final words on the season, on the event here tonight as well, and maybe a little nod ahead to next season as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have said quite a lot of things, so I'll pass on to Nick, and he can wrap it up.
Sorry, what was the question?
Just any last words, Nick?
God, where to start? A couple of things. I want to say one thing. Nobody's talked much about this European thing. I've been doing this for 18 years, isn't it now? And I'm really excited about next. I just can't wait for European nights at Wise. And I know there's been a bit of chat on social media about how on earth do we get to host European games with a venue like ours, because it's tiny and all the rest of it. But I do very strongly believe that a big factor in us getting that invite to go into Europe is down to the way that we stage home games generally. And the whole thing is so professional, and a lot of that is, well, I think probably all of it is down to the way the volunteers do it, the people that come in, from the people that take the floor, to just the whole thing, with the concessions and the ticketing, and just the way that the volunteers do it. I am in awe of that every single week, because it is so slick and so professional. And the atmosphere on those midweek nights when we get those European teams over next year, I can't wait. It's going to be brilliant. So that's one thing I want to say thank you to. The other one is to the players. They've this year has been fun for me, which it isn't always, because often we get into those things in the season where it's very exciting at the start of the season with a new team, and then when the season settles down into it, we're looking at the league table and thinking, we know at the end of the season it's going to be close. We're either going to be fighting to get into the playoffs or fight to get a top four, so we get the seeding in the playoffs or whatever. We want to finish out of Plymouth or whatever it is, and those games for about half a season can be quite nerve-wracking for me, that's trying to be the calm one when he's throwing his clipboard, and I'm sitting there, just looking at the scoreboard thinking, oh, grief, here we go again. This one's going to be really tight. I haven't had a season like that this season. I've really actually enjoyed all the games, watching this lot play. Even on the nights when it's not quite been working, this lot have been fantastic. They've been great in training. They really have been supremely professional, compared to other teams we've had. And the games have been great, because just the way they go at it, every single game, even on the games it doesn't work. I mean, we have the mantra, Coach has the mantra that for years he's been putting on the board. He says, play hard, play smart, play together. And this lot always play hard. They always play together. They don't play smart, but that makes it more entertaining, So you never know quite what we're going to get. But we know it's going to be fun, and I want to thank every single one of them for just providing so many highlights and being able, even in those games when they get a bit tense, it's still been just great throwing all these guys out there and thinking, what are they going to come up with here? They're going to come up with something that's really going to rattle the opposition and get you lot going, and that's been great. So I've had a ball this season, and I'm really looking forward to next season as well. So that's it from me. Is that good enough for a wrap? Okay, it's a wrap. Okay.
Great stuff. Thank you to everyone who's come out here today. Thank you for your support all season long. Thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to the volunteers. Thank you to the staff. Thank you to the players. Thank you to the coaching staff. There's so many thank yous to get out there. And Sam, that's it for our podcast as well. It's the last episode of the season.
Guys, it has been...
We forgot one closing. My sponsor, Tom, where you at? We need to. Can somebody get him a mic?
Oh, we need to get him.
Oh, no, he don't need a mic. My bad.
We need to get him to do the air raid siren. So he doesn't need a microphone to do the air raid siren. Anyone who listens to the podcast, we know we had Tom on the podcast a few weeks back, and he did the air raid siren down the phone. And a lot of you didn't believe that it was actually his voice doing the air raid siren. He does it during free throws. He does it during late game situations. And Tom, we want to hear it right now here on the podcast live. If you can...
Amazing. Yes, let's make some noise for the Bristol Flyers!